What's up, guys? Wade Willis here for Wade's Weeb Reviews, here for episode 9 of Higurashi Sotsu, and this was another amazing episode. I know I keep saying this, but Sotsu is really hitting it out of the park for me. This is what I had hoped Higurashi Go would have been. Not that I dislike Go, but this is just so much better. This is the story we want. Creepiness, so much disturbing, so many disturbing things happening in it, seeing so many different sides of characters. I just love it. The redemption that we're seeing from Teppei, never expected to see. I actually despised him. He was like one of my least favorite characters ever in anime, and he is somehow I like him now, and I don't want to like him. I don't want to move past what's going on, but it is endearing seeing him make these changes and try to be a good person. And yeah, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and yeah, share the video if you like the video as well. Covering tons of When They Cry content, doing my Umineko playthrough, you guys know the deal, and just finish a reaction series to the first season of Madoka Magica, and I am about to start reactions for Death Prey, which I have never seen before too. So be on the lookout for those things too, guys. We do start the episode off with Satoko and Aoa kind of watching a fragment where Satoko is just getting obliterated by Teppei, and it is a tough watch, and I've become so accustomed to seeing Teppei not be a piece of shit that this was so jarring, and I'm like, oh yeah, it knocked me back to my senses. And then you go right back into it, seeing him be like a domesticated dude with an apron right after that. It's kind of crazy, the back and forth between Teppei that we are seeing. Last episode, we saw that Aoa was kind of saying that Satoko's become a witch, but she's saying it to herself. In this episode, at the beginning, she's calling Satoko out, saying she's no longer a human. And Satoko basically says that's BS. And I was hoping we were going to get Aoa to basically call her Lamp Delta or some witch or something. I was on the edge of my seat. Didn't happen, but Satoko truly believes that she's still human, which, for all the things that we've seen, she's not the same person that she was before. And she talked about how that fragment, even though originally it's super depressing, but now it's a happy fragment because she had Rika all to herself, which is something a creepy person and a serial murderer would say, in my opinion. And Satoko's just become such a good villain. The depth and everything that we're seeing of her and her change. I know initially a lot of people didn't like it, that were fans of her, but I think they're doing a really good job showing the complexity of Satoko. And I'm going to get into some of that complexity more with, I feel getting back to Teppei, he has changed. He seems like a good person now. He's fighting for Satoko, trying to learn how to cook, almost burn the house down. We can look past almost burning the house down, but he's really trying. Even gets on his knees and begs Oishi to help, which in the original, no way that would ever happen. And I thought showing kind of that old fragment and then going right to how Teppei is now did a really good job for us as viewers to kind of see the growth of Teppei. And even though Satoko is kind of acting tough and she's doing all these horrible, evil things, I feel when she's seeing the things that Teppei's doing, like him putting a blanket on her and trying to be a good guy, there's these changes in her face that you see that part of her is conflicted. And I feel those are little glimpses of humanity that's still in there. And maybe she's second guessing, maybe I should just move on with my life and give my uncle a chance. Probably not. Again, it's just a little piece. We know she's obsessed with Rika. Back to when Aoa was talking to Satoko. Satoko's kind of talking about how she's looking for her goal of like a world where she um, has Rika to herself and all that stuff. And for me personally, even if she gets to that world, I think Satoko has changed so much. She will not gain happiness in that world, even if Rika's her best friend. And I think even if Rika stays in Hanimizawa, I feel like part of Rika will drift away because of how much Satoko has changed. That's just me personally. Some of you guys can disagree, but I think that is something that, like, if she gets to that world, her goal, I don't think she's going to have the outcome that she would even want because so much of her has changed. And Aua kind of like, I feel like realizes this and is kind of like laughing and is like, all right, I'm just going to eat my popcorn while you just go and mess shit up and you lose your humanity. Um, and this world that you're aiming for probably going to be not what you had actually hoped for. Now, I had mentioned that Tepe is really conflicted. He wants to try to get help. Uh, Stoko is kind of like telling him that everyone in the town's like picking on her, all this stuff that's really lies, even saying the classmates and the teacher are bullying her. And Tepe is kind of acting like really a dickhead in town, but they see that there's glimmers of him like actually trying. So some of the townspeople, you hear him gossiping, and they're like, "Wow, I can't. I never thought I would see him hanging up clothes because he's just, you mean a slob, like really not a good person." They kind of look at him like, even though this isn't how he is, but like almost like how you would look at, I guess, like a crackhead or like a meth head or something. They're kind of looking at his lifestyle and like, I cannot believe he would like be cooking, like not that they saw that, but like doing these things and like trying to be like a normal person and not really a dreg of society. And as I said, he begs to Oishi, the detective, like, I need your help. Oishi comes, checks things out, sees like, okay, everything's looking like pretty normal. And this sparks Satoko to have to make a move. Now, we knew Oishi was going to suffer from the syndrome. We already saw this in the questions arc. But I actually did like how Satoko like had to go about like drugging him and was like, this can really mess with my plans. Like if Oishi is actually helping Tepe. And drugs him, injects him with the syndrome. And I was actually really confused by the sequence of events after that. Because I was like, okay, Oishi understands that Tepe is not like actually abusing Satoko. Um, it like seems like he realizes it. Then he's injected with a syndrome, and then he starts like framing Tepe for doing things. And I was like, what? Like that makes no sense. And in my comments, Dennis like like clarified everything for me, and he's like, yeah, he's setting up Tepe. So because he believes that the Sonozakis have actually been doing all these crimes, and having Tepe do these things will lead to the Sonozakis killing him or attempting to kill him, and he'll be able to catch them. So that I thought was like really interesting. I'm like, oh my gosh, it makes so much more sense. And I felt like kind of an idiot for not catching that. But if any of you other guys were kind of confused on that, there you go. But I'm sure most of you are probably smarter than me and figured it out right away. I was really perplexed by like why he was doing that. I know he's suffering from the syndrome, but it kind of didn't make sense to me. That's kind of how the episode ended. Now, like with theories and stuff, I feel like the next episode it's going to be the end of the actual arc, and then we may get those speed run, uh, kind of quick things. I believe that we had at the end of this arc. Who knows? I don't feel like it would be necessary to do 2 episodes showing Oishi's like, you mean going mad. Personally, I feel like it's going to be 1 episode, and then they will maybe cover some weird in between stuff with Aua, um, Satoko, all that stuff. I think that'll probably be the fifth episode of the arc. Seeing Satoko's facial expressions and all that stuff, like when she's looking and seeing how much Teppei's changed and like really become a good person, I don't think that there's going to be necessarily a redemption arc for Satoko, particularly in this season. I don't think that there would be enough time to actually do that well, and I hope they wouldn't do that. But I feel like Teppei is actually going to bring out the like humanity that is like left in her, and realize that she actually really did make a mistake, and kind of ask for help from Rika, perhaps. I that's just, do I believe 100% that's going to happen? I don't know. There's just, I have a few different theories. This is kind of the newer one that I have, is that Teppei is going to be kind of a hero to help bring Satoko back. Now, I don't think she's going to end up like being redeemed completely, but she's going to be saved. Just one thing that has been kind of bothering me is that uh, Satoko, it doesn't look like she's investigated really a way to save Satoshi, her brother. If I'm wrong, let me know, but it doesn't look like that's been attempted at all. So that thing has kind of been lingering with me. Like, one, I feel like I hope Satoshi makes an appearance soon. I feel like he's gonna wake up or something. But the fact that Satoko's just like kind of left him in a catatonic state, um, and like just only trying to go down the path where like Rika is hers, really annoys me a lot. And I think it adds to the character of Satoko, but it really annoys me a lot and bothers me. It doesn't make me mad at the show; it just makes me mad at the character, which I think in turn is a good thing. Now, are we going to come back and address that? I don't know. I feel like that would be something interesting to address. Whether it's Ayua kind of bringing it up at some point, or Rika like when she realizes that she's a looper and calls her out on it, and is like, you're doing all this to keep me here, and you're not doing anything to try to save your brother. I understand you not wanting to go to school and learning things to like, um, and doing like schoolwork, but really you've dialed yourself in. Could you maybe try to get in contact with scientists doing all these loops and find someone that can maybe save Satoshi? It's not like they've had uh, he's had the best medical attention in like the world. I mean, you can get some second opinions, get some. They're always doing some weird medical studies in America, in like Germany, like even Russia. There's always some wild stuff going on. Like, you haven't tried anything. I feel like she's left every stone unturned. So with Satoshi, so that's something I hope is addressed, and I hope someone calls her out on. But yeah, I'd love to hear what you guys thought about the episode. Let me know your theories in the comments below. One thing, just if there's something leaks or something, please don't like talk about leaks, because there's some people in comments that don't want to read about leaks. If I see her talking about leaks, I don't read the comment. Like, not that there's anything wrong with it, but I don't want to have anything actually spoiled. If you have your own like theories or something, go for it. And if you're right, I'm going to be pumped that you're right. But talking about leaks, like, let's kind of stay away from that, because one, sometimes they're not always accurate, and two, people like to stay away from leaks, like myself. So that's just one thing. But yeah, overall, some really good discussions this season with you guys in the comments, and hopefully these continue. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts.